Hey, it's Tanaya. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back. If you've been with me for a while already, you know we do a bunch of videos for lash artists out there. So I'm doing a part 2 to how to make 100K as a lash artist. So if you haven't watched the first one, I'll link it in the video or in the description box so you can check that one out, because that one kind of covers more of the services side of it. As a lash artist, you can do other things, and we are going to talk about those other things. So in this one, we are going to be talking about products, and if I can throw it in there without the video being too crazy long, I'm going to throw in classes / training, because there are other things you can do as a lash artist to, increase your streams of income. So let's go. Okay, so we're going to start off with products. So, as a lash artist, yes, you can offer the service, doing classic, hybrid, or volume sets, but you can also sell products to both your clients and also to other lash artists. Most people that are companies that you are buying your lash glues from, your lash trays and stuff like that, are your normal people who decided to offer a lash extension product line. So that can be you one day. You never know. So let's just get right into it. So let's say you decide to offer lash trays, lash glue, and lash cleanser. So of course the lash trays and lash glue are going to be sold to eyelash extension artists. And let's say you sell lash cleanser and your clients can buy that, or other lash artists can buy your cleansers and resell it to their people or whatever, or use it for themselves or their clients. So let's say we had each lash tray. We're just gonna pretend, I'm not gonna get too deep whether it's a classic tray or a volume tray or whatever the hell, 0.03, 0.05, 0.07, 0.15. We're just gonna say your lash trays, you're selling them for $15 per tray. Now, let's say your wholesale cost per item. This is how much you're getting the lash tray from the vendor. This is how much the vendor is charging you. Let's say your vendor is charging you $3 per tray. So when you go and place an order with your vendor, each tray is costing you $3. Of course, that vendor is probably going to make you order a few hundred trays at once. They're not just going to sell you 1 or 10. They're going to make you order like a few hundred of them. So, but each tray costs you $3 and you're selling them for $15. So your profit per tray would come out to be $12. So you're making $12 off of each lash tray that you sell. Now, we're just going to keep it really basic because there's going to be additional little fees in that. So we'll just assume that when you buy each lash tray, including the shipping from the vendor, including packaging, including like shipping materials, whatever you put in each package to every customer adds up to $3. Because whenever you order something from a company, when they use, I have one right here, when they use one of these poly mailers, when they put a business card in there or other little coupon flyers, all that stuff, even like the shipping label, the packing slip, that's like a receipt of your order, all that stuff costs money. So you have to factor in the cost of all of those things and get what your final wholesale cost is. So we're just going to assume with all those things it's $3. I do get questions on other videos when it comes to shipping, like, does the owner pay for shipping, da 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 da. It depends on if you set it up that way. If you're advertising free shipping on your website, that means that you as the owner is eating the cost of shipping. But if you're not doing that and your customer chooses a shipping option, whether they want 1 to 2 day shipping, or they pay for like priority or first class, whatever option they choose, they're paying for the shipping. Now, Shopify or whatever website you're using will basically pay you out the money that they pay for the item. They'll also pay you the money out the customer paid for the shipping. And at the end of the month, when you're charged the website fee, they're going to also charge you for all of the shipping that you sent out, but the customer gave you the money for the shipping, if that question comes up. So back to what we were talking about, your profit is going to be $12 per lash tray. So if you're selling 100 lash trays a month, that's $1,200 right there off of lash trays. and that's just 100 a month. So imagine, like, as a lash artist, how many trays you buy a month. You know, you're buying your restocking classic, you're restocking on your volume, your fast fanning, whatever type, your M curl, different curls at that. So you're probably buying a lot of different trays because you need different curls, and you need a different weights, the 0.15s, the 0.05, the 0.03s, and all that stuff. So just at 100 trays a month, that puts you at $1,200 just in selling lash trays, and that is, of course, the money that you take home in your pocket. Gross is going to be more because remember, you're selling them for $15. So gross is going to be more. So what you see when the customer orders 100, when all your customers for the month, you end up selling 100 trays, it's going to be $1,500 because you're selling them to each customer for $15. So that's $1,500, but when you subtract your wholesale costs, everything you paid for, you end up with $1,200 left in your pocket. That's called your net. The $1,500 will be your gross. So that's just off lash trays. Now, normally people who have lash extension product lines sell more than one thing. So let's say you sold lash glue and you sell it for $40. I buy my lash glue for about $40, so that's why I chose 40. Some companies are more, some you may find a little less, maybe $30. But let's say you sold it for $40 and your wholesale cost for the glue will make it like $5. So now your profit per glue is $35. And if you sold 100 glues per month, you're at $3,500 for the month. So on 100 glues, there you go. Now, of course, your gross is going to be higher selling 100 glues. Your gross is going to be $4,000. But once you subtract all of the expenses, how much you actually spent to get each glue, supplies, all that stuff, you're going to end up with the $3,500 left over for you to keep in your pocket. And we're going to do the same thing with lash cleanser. So let's say you sell lash cleanser, you hand make it, or you order it wholesale, which there are manufacturers that sell lash cleanser, so you don't have to make it yourself. Let's say you're into each lash cleanser for $3. It's not really that much of an expensive thing to get into. So, and let's say you sell 100 of those a month. So your profit per lash cleanser is $7. Since, you know, the sale price is $10, you're into it for $3. Your profit's $7. And if you sell 100 of those a month, that is $700. So there you go, as far as your profit. So if you total that all out, and if you average these numbers a month, right? Let's add all of this up. So once you add up, remember, this is your net profit. Once you add up all of these things, that gives you $5,400. Okay, so once you total up all the net profit, and this is just 3 items that we just did a quick little example out of, that totals up to $5,400 in your net profit that you keep in your pocket, because remember, we already subtracted the expense of each item that you sold. So this is selling 300 products per month of 3 different types of things. Now, most lash brands have different things that they sell. They sell lash extensions, different curls, different lengths, volume, classic, fast fanning, M curl, C curl, D curl, CC curl, a bunch of different curls, lash glue, lash primer, lash cleanser, tweezers, tape, under eye gel pads. It just goes on, because there's a lot of different things that we use in order to do our lash sets. So if you had a bunch of that going on a site with good marketing and, you know, good reviews, you'd be making pretty good money just selling the products, you know, before you even pick up your tweezers to do a client. So I just wanted to put that out there because there's a lot of lash artists that are starting to get into this side of the business. There's a lot that goes into it. You have to invest a lot of money up front, because yeah, these numbers sound great, you know, they sound great, but you have to be willing to take a risk and have faith in yourself and invest money to say, okay, I'm gonna reach out and spend a couple hours vetting vendors and talking with them, seeing what their prices are and the minimums and all other stuff. I have videos on like how to start your online business, because some of you may know, like, I have an online store, but I do more cosmetic items like makeup items and strip lashes and stuff like that, lipsticks, and I am looking to transition into this and adding this to my existing online store. But it just takes a lot of time and effort, and of course you have to be willing to set a budget and say, okay, this is how much I'm willing to invest to see if I'm going to hit a return on my investment. So it's not that difficult to get into. You just have to be willing to just go for it. Alright, so I think for this one I'm pretty much just going to stick to the product side. We'll have to do glasses in a whole nother video because I don't want this to get too long. But let's kind of like sum this up. So again, this is only 3 products. If you do a lash extension product line, you're going to have more than 3 products, so your income is going to be higher than what we even did with our little example. So going back to the lash trays, we're selling lash trays for $15 each. Our wholesale price is $3. So to get the gross amount, this is like not subtracting anything from any profit that you made off the lash tray. This is just what's coming in before you subtract all your expenses. So $15 per lash tray, you sold 100 for that month, that's $1,500. You do that every single month in the year, so you times that by 12 and you get $18K off of lash trays. All right, now you gotta imagine, if you're popping behind lash extension supply company, you're selling more than 100 lash trays, that's for sure. Okay, now we're going to move on to lash glues. We're selling the lash glues for $40. You sell 100 of them a month consistently, so that's $4,000 a month on lash glues. Times that by 12 months in a year, that's $48K for lash glues. Now we have our lash cleanser. We're selling each lash cleanser for $10. You sell 100 of them for the month, that's $1,000. You're doing that consistently for the year, so times that by 12, that's $12K off lash cleansers. When you add the gross for the lash trays, the lash glue, and the lash cleanser, you get $78K. Now that's your gross. We haven't subtracted any expenses from that, like what you bought the item for from your vendor, shipping supplies, whatever. So when you subtract the expenses based on what we projected it to be in this column, the wholesale cost per item, you're left with $64,800. And this is small numbers. This is small. Like, I can imagine, like, the company that I buy my glue from, they probably do crazy numbers, okay? And there's so many other companies out there. And you gotta think, like, from a business standpoint, eyelash techs, we gotta get stuff every month because we're constantly doing lash sets and we run out of stuff all the time. You know, you can probably make a lot of money just selling gel pads alone, you know? So that's just with a very, very small amount of orders for lash extension supplies, you're left with $64K. And imagine if you still did services, like if you had somebody that was just responsible for shipping out your orders, you hire a little bit of help, and you still did services, you're well over six figures, well over it. And this is just small numbers. Like, this may be your business for, I don't know, the first year or 2 years, and then after that it really starts to pick up even more traction, and now you're doing way better. So I'm just saying, like, there's a lot that you can do with this. You could take it a step further and not offer like the typical lash tech supplies. Like, you can offer different things that other lash techs can utilize. Like, there's a lot of different things we use as far as furniture, organizational things. Like, there's other things you can think of to be kind of outside of the box but still contribute into the lash tech community with some type of supply or thing that can help us out and do our jobs better. So you just got to think outside the box, do something that's, you know, that you think will be great to add to the industry. Or, you know, a lot of people do this marketing thing where it's like, if somebody else is doing it and it works, you kind of do what they're doing but put your own twist on it and make it work. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. I hope this helped you guys. Bye.